the best we can to kind of at least pinpoint where things need to close. Um, Going into tomorrow, obviously focused on our ETFs. Now, today we did try to get down. We did hit 218, not 218.50 or 218 down at the bottom candle at 2. Well, kind of almost, but yeah, 218.60 was then the target of the downside, and of course this is after a new high dipping down. Same thing with the Qs, right? So we look at both ETFs, and this has is since this what May 30th or May 29th. This has been one of the bigger red days that have held. You had this one right here, almost equal at the beginning of June, but at the end of the day, this was a pretty sizable engulfment back down. And so we got to look at what's underneath us. So we'll go ahead and measure that. I'll full screen this up. And so right now, if you are looking at the Qs and, with that, again, with this type of leg down, by the end of the day, you're going to need to see where this thing is able to recover, because that could dictate whether you take it for continuation to the downside or allow a retest. Now, what could be happening or what could happen before now and the end of the day is you do go back up and retest. And if it can fill up enough empty space, then that is where we would be looking for maybe a potential reversal. As far as news or the economic calendar is concerned, tomorrow we have, why is damn, what the fuck, Italian. Anyway, we have 8:30. We have average hourly earnings, month over month non-farm payroll change, unemployment rate, as well as ISM manufacturing. So these are things that we're going to be swinging into. Again, this is one of those setups where we need to look at the 15-minute as well. But by the end of the day, if we can refuse a couple of these floors, including the one that we're fighting for and the floor up above at 568, because or reject them, perhaps we see another leg down. But we are moving into structure. So let's see where that candle closes. Ultimately, you'll notice if you just go to the 24-hour candle, if it can hold, it's probably going to be something that pops up. I do. Let me just say this. I do see continuation to the downside, but I do think that tomorrow could make it where, literally we see a scream up, nasty rip, and then it immediately washes out. And that reversal actually starts to happen where Qs could see a 563 target to the downside. So that's what we're looking at now. Worst case scenario, we stay in range. SPY is currently dealing with a similar scenario where we have engulfed all of the gains from the last 4 gains, or excuse me, basically 3 or 4 days of consolidation. And again, fell back underneath. It did dip down to that wick low, which that wick low is equal to the first set of structure that we have in front of us, followed by your box down below. So there is quite literally, this one's a little weirder, by the end of the day, and I'm not going to be here for that. So you guys have plenty of time to kind of see how this is going to play out. But obviously, whatever is, and this is where we solve problems, we go down to the hourly, we got to go look for what we're able to stay or what we need to stay below. And same thing as the Qs, similar setup, right? We have empty space above that 5 or 635.34. So if you are looking for a retest, right, that's where it would fail, and you would more than likely go up and I mean, who knows? We could see a complete reversal off of this. The fact of the matter is we did bounce off of our lows. So between now and the end of the day, and again, this could be literally the end of the day where you see a shot up into that 368. That's going to leave you with an in-range candle. And if you're looking for a break in range, that's where it turns into speculation. So, all right, IWM, this one, pain in the butt, but we did catch a good trade on it yesterday. Put some money into today's short swing, and it didn't work, right? We did see a brief leg down, open up on the floor, or open up and leg down to that floor, and that was awesome. I did try to hedge myself once, but after that second dip, I went ahead and just washed my hands and just let it do its thing. That being said, there's a metric ass ton of empty space. Well, not metric ass ton being dramatic, but there is empty space above us. And as far as a 24-hour candle close is concerned, our target was down to that 218.62. And the floor that we are holding or that we've been holding was that first green candle over here at 219. So obviously closing closer to that one should subject us to our next low. However, if that is able to be reclaimed, because we are dealing with that now, you can see how clear that is on the hourly, trying to reclaim 220. There is empty space up above that. And so before you go down, you could end up going back up if this bounce is successful at punching back up. So you'll notice that all the ETFs were appeal. Um, a lot of these, it's speculative, but we are starting to move back down into the structure that we broke out from, and of course, that could very well send us.
Hey, Potter.
Yep.
I wasn't here earlier. I just caught the end of this IWM. Did you grab those contracts back down?
No.
You didn't catch that?
No.
I thought you
Oh,
did, bro. I thought you kept a couple.
no. Not enough to be
Okay.
profitable on it, and I was just too busy to catch it, man. I'm
Yeah, no,
not
that's
bummed
super
about
fair.
it, but
That's super
yeah,
fair.
it was a nice little
You
trickle.
want to see what I did on it? Do you want to see what
Sure.
I did on it? I caught those. I caught those back. I had a little bit of time today. I was looking at those. I'll send them to you in your DM here.
Let's see it. Oh yeah.
That
Why
was
is
that was half. I sold half at my target, so I had 20.
Oh, not bad. Hot damn.
It wasn't horrible. It wasn't horrible.
Yeah, that's a payday right there.
Uh,
Straight up. By the way, I just posted a new video on TikTok. Trying to make some original content. Should have fucking put my goddamn low or my uh TikTok name in it. But yeah, just a silly recap on the month of July's gains and some of the trades that we took. So if you have a second, drop a comment, like, whatever. All right. So anyway, all three ETFs, there's a lot of setups for day trades. So if you're not, seeing the swing yet, yeah, it literally like that chunky. We don't know quite yet. And I'm looking at the 5 here, and I mean, by the end of the day, you very well could see that this empty space that Marzell caught back up. But what you're seeing right now is showing you perfectly why or where it's trying to accomplish that feat. So it's just a matter of, whether or not you want to actually, is there a straightforward play right now for me? Not quite. Today's leg down definitely does kind of put some bearish seasoning, but we're not in the oven yet. So, all right. I'm gonna try to, again, I'm limited here on time, so I'm gonna try to take your guys' request really quickly and see if we can't find a solid setup or see anything for a swing today. What? Oh yeah. Um, Pepsi down. Ivy, is your stream not working? Yeah. So honestly, Pepsi was something that if you were watching this, that was a great setup to the downside. Now, the issue here, well, not issue, I need to rephrase that, but the current area that you're moving into is the imbalance. So if that's lost, yeah, rest assured you'll go and hit 136. But that's where you need to go and look at the lower time frame. And we're starting to see a floor. So if you literally, it is even if you get a candle close outside of 139, you might see a reversal or some choppage before continuation of the downside. So you need to see this just push down, foot on the gas. That's what you're looking for. So, um, yeah, drop those in the chat. All right, so AL down, air lease. So yeah, I mean, I have no arguments against this weekly time frame. So there's some wickage down there. So obviously clearing those, but if you can move into the remainder of the week, you're right there. You know what I mean? Like literally, right there. Next leg down should open up the gap at around 53. So Riot has earnings and not a big fan of the miners. Not sure if they move quite well. I mean, You know what I mean? If you catch something, it's probably not going to be on the actual earnings, but afterwards. But I'm not seeing anything that makes me feel really enthusiastic about it. And the setup is, you're just up against 1450, so perhaps you see 1650, which is the cost basis, or rather even just the, well, we'll call it, yeah, cost basis above you. So that's all I can really say about that one. UNH. Oof, shit. Well, I would, you're closing in a wick. So the only thing you have is 249.28, and that's where you need to look to your left. And one of the areas that we talked about potentially touching down is right here at 242.88. And that would be my next target to the downside. This would open up and could open up very much a earnings or a trade back up to the upside, through empty space. But ultimately, you'll have a series of catalysts that'll kind of let you know when and where. So if that wick provides the bounce that you need, again, it's not a mystery whether you're going to reverse. It's a function. And so we would be looking at a reversal over 262.80, and then obviously you have your floor right here underneath you. So CVS, yeah, they already had earnings. On what, Cade? On AL or something? Yeah, that one already ripped. So Lemonade. Uh, Dude, look at the way this thing trades. I mean, look at the way it ripped. Again, I look for empty space. That's where you see faster falls, and you're now retesting the floor. So it is a matter of punching down below the box you made here, where you'll have a next target at 33.75, or you're reclaiming that floor and you got to retest a 40.17 and a breakout over 42 possible. But SNGX exploding up. Yeah, brother, this is not for me. I'm not going to pretend like I can help you on this. This is clearly a pump and dump stock. It has its pumps, and then it goes into a bleed fest where people hope and dream that it will one day turn into their fantasy and rip. But as of right now, yeah, you're holding your candle, but you would have to make it well above its highs, which is one of the floors, and actually up to 618. So Jamia did see that pop out today, right? So unfortunately, that play is probably over. But you do have a good play set up for the downside, and that is 444. So keep that with an alert. But there is empty space to the upside, and again, who knows if there's news or something that's coming on this one? But a punch over 492 would likely lead you up to the 534s. I mean, this thing it seems like untradeable. This is an awful. I mean,
How
like
dare you?
it is, dude. Look at it. Look at it. Look. So when you pop, you go into. Let's see the weekly.
Oh,
Uh,
we're nowhere close to that. Do you see the price on it?
what? No, I'm not talking
Like,
about. I'm saying what happens after those crazy moves. You get about I would say about 5 to 6 months of intense price sideways price action. So even after this big move, I would expect that it does something similar, but that's outside my wheelhouse.
that's nothing but equity. I got in at 10 cent.
Look at the most recent price action. It's a good setup.
It's a running joke that we hopefully make money on.
We're all going to be on the board.
Yeah, right. 164.42 is cost basis above you, and that was hit again today. So today's high is the trigger for a move up to 184.50. Period. End of story. If it's not, this is going to be the second rejection off of the top, and you're more than likely going to retest cost basis, or maybe even go and fill that empty space back up, like we talked about last time on Reddit, right? Where you come back down probably a little further, all the way to the 128 level. So yeah, you're in a state of deliberation. If you're on TikTok, be sure to jam your finger into your phone. SMCI. So struggling with that wall. And I think that was a solid prediction, or not a prediction, but a solid price target. And it is the bucket right now. There is empty space directly up above that, but it is obviously $63 that would allow price to move to 72 and maybe up into the 77s. And right now you are seeing not enough to call it a loss, but you don't have a lot to sit on top of. So anywhere underneath, I mean, even with today's leg down, I would say that because you fell back underneath 61, this likely does want to come back down to retest. So I don't hate it actually for a rejection trade. You just have to know when you take these rejections against the grain, you gotta have a solid stop loss, and you need to have a low risk position, right? Something that if it did burn you or didn't go your way, that's okay. Honestly, I might take that one myself. What's up? Yeah, I just posted a video. Make sure to check that one out. Stock market ASMR for you guys. All right, cool. All right, let's keep moving. Shawty. Right, so we've got SOXS, and listen, I actually still have those contracts. Today it ripped up. I was not paying attention to the percentage or anything of that nature. Yeah, so I'm still down actually red on that one, but I want it, and I want it bad. And I might have to grab more. Today's rejection obviously might leave this in a period of, momentary sideways action. But I mean, I feel like this is, I don't ever trade this shit, but for the risk to reward, next week's or, next week or maybe this week, $9. Tomorrow, if that play doesn't work out, this is going to be a red candle immediately. Immediately. So it almost is like, yeah, you better reach for something out of the money and low risk rather than, piling, I guess, if you will. Maybe something to add to, but because it didn't lose that 794, there is that possibility. So foot on the gas pedal, something needs to drive us down tonight. ADMA, ADMA biologies, that is, it's all you, my brother. Diddle it. It does have a little bit of a pocket of empty space. Obviously, this is a box that you punch through, so you can reuse that. That's 919, that's 989, and that's 2067. You also have a short-term downtrend here. Looks a little ugly, but I'm sure that'll likely move to that cost basis first. So, all right, everybody. Apple earnings, because I know, and this is my official price prediction. So here's the deal: we are currently still above, right? We got empty space underneath us, so 203.50 is a first target down, right? Now, let me also be really clear here. Apple doesn't always provide. I mean, it's okay, but it doesn't always provide solid earnings moves. I think it's been since May since we saw that earnings, I guess, was actually was kind of lackluster because you immediately reversed. So, but this time is a little different, right? We are going into, or rather, we are in a large area of consolidation. So we're going to look at this the same way that we look at all of our plays. Okay, all of them. Now, like I said this morning, I'm not a big Apple trader, especially on earnings. But I definitely still see the target because we are at the floor right now holding. If this can go straight green, 215, 220, right? And we do know that Apple likes to kind of finish the run if earnings goes well. So we could potentially see 220, and my high end price target which I don't know if that's going to be necessarily achievable. We did see Microsoft and Amazon, all that other stuff run, but 230s are possible. So, again, we're going to have to, and I would assume that Apple has probably got some pretty high IV. So what I said, 230s.
Amazon reports tonight too.
That's right.
Shut up, Raymond.
$20 for 230s. And see, the hedges don't really make sense. Huh?
Raymond's shorting Apple, so nobody likes him.
Who's shorting Apple?
How dare you hedge yourself? Don't hedge.
Raymond.
Don't be a pussy.
Ivy, the bell's not ringing yet. Language, I am recording for YouTube.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Good.
Hey, I'll
God.
edit
You
that
work.
for you.
You
Don't worry.
work for PBS, and
I'll
you're
edit
doing
that
this.
for free. I got
What
you.
kind of people you got working for you, Potter?
Oh, dude, criminal.
What?
Criminal. Amazon. All right, so let's look at 24-hour time frame. I said this morning. I'm going to say it again. Today's candle is no matter, right? You bounced off the floor. You hit cost basis. So, and I could shrink that box down a little bit. But regardless, yeah, see, I want to give it that. But part of me wants to also give it this. That being said, there is a potential to go rip straight up to 250. That's what my instincts tell me is possible looking at this chart. 250, 260. You're just up at the highs, looking for a breakout. So I say 250. Hedges would likely need to be somewhere around the 218 mark, most reasonably 224, but that's going to be way too expensive. So, but that's what I see on Amazon. Years of doing this, I guess you could say it kind of looks like Microsoft. Microsoft was obviously already at the highs. Yeah, beta, if you will. So, all right.
Coin
FC
and MSTR have earnings today too.
Coin. Oh, I did Coin. I did do MSTR. So, oh, okay. Oh yeah, I did that one as well. So period end of story 4090 is do have a floor right here at 40, so that's good. But the next trigger is going to be above 41. I would keep the 4-hour up. Yeah, so period end of story, you do have solid empty space underneath you, but getting up and out. And then I can't ignore the fact that, 4150 is going to be your imbalance. So you have two minor targets here, but you have a good bounce. So you're tracking this, again, on the lower time frame, looking at what's underneath you. It looks a little weak here on the 5. So, you might end up consolidating here, but that one's a little yucky. All right, 24-hour time frame. Texas Instruments. So, damn, I was right. Damn. Oh shit. Okay, so you got a gap down below you, so I'm not so sure that this channel is going to hold anymore. So you have a target down below. What are you bouncing off? What are you trying to hold? You're trying to hold that floor? That's an ugly floor. So I would watch this 4-hour. If you can hold 181, you might be looking at retest to the upside, and that channel that I drew might be true, right? And that is likely what it's trying to hang on to. So map out the 1-hour, set your alerts, easy peasy, not a fucking mystery here. You've got a beautiful little 30-minute box right here. You're tapping the floor. So outside of 182.35, you have first target of 183 and 183.71. Yeah, coin is dog water for earnings. Most of the yeah, I mean, honestly, when's the last time maybe I'm tripping. I could be tripping. But when's the last time we've seen one of these crypto miners have a good earnings? I feel like I don't remember it, so couldn't have been that great. Yeah, it wasn't good.
I mean, they've had like opposite reactions to what their earnings are. Usually, their earnings don't show up well on paper.
I'm not seeing anything on Riot or Coin. Look at this. Every single earnings.
Yeah, those don't really typically move.
No
I think
downside.
Mara moves every now and then on earnings.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one. Riley is highly shorted. Okay. Tesla's getting ready to move. That I can tell you for sure. Um, we're in a similar state to this and this and that, that, all of this. So the move is coming. And I haven't heard a lot of people even talking about Tesla. It's kind of fallen off the radar. So maybe it's time to start looking at a potential position here. But in order to do
Isn't there
that,
a certain date that was consistent with, like it's like 30 or 90 days or something like that, where like it starts moving after?
so the cycle typically goes, you get 8 to 9 days of consolidation, and if that does not break, or make a new high or new low outside of that current range, then you're likely going to spend around a month. So from here, March to April. I mean, literally, beginning of March, end of April. Wait, hold on, pause. That's mid-March to a little bit after mid-April. So, it's yeah, cyclically, I'm looking at this, even the waves. Look, 1, 2, 3, right? So part of me feels like this one's about to, I mean, right? But I think that you make a new low. And I think that new low is here at 250, 250. But we also have to look at I think I draw a channel. Yeah, this bad boy, that's very much still in play. So between me and you, there is either going to be a nasty ass bounce. It doesn't mean, I'm not saying take a position now. I mean, unless you have, money to blow and you want to grab long straddles on it, because the IV is going to kick up mad intense. I mean, this has been a trash trader, I would say since mid-June. We've got some good trades on it for sure. But it's been stuck in range. We're not getting those huge expansions in price, and that's what Tesla's known for. So we're looking at 1, 2, coming up on 3. Consolidation is tight. Move back down to the 4-hour. Actually, never mind. Go back out to the 24-hour and map that up, right? So right now, this is kind of like that area of containment, and we know and we have established that outside of 334.11, this thing's probably going to fucking rip. So don't need to be right now. We just need to be right when the break in structure happens and know which triggers are which. So full 225. I mean, if you've, yeah, no, I mean, I think 230 would be, but whether it holds those highs and because of IB, I've not had a great experience with Apple, but who knows? Apple could rip absolute dick. I got a position on it. It's been a long time. What the hell are you doing, my boy? Damn. How far out do you buy contracts? Depends on what the chart shows me, man. If you're moving into empty space or no resistance, shorter expiration typically is always the way to go. I think if you can find a good stop loss on this thing, if it's still heavily shorted, I don't know what the float is, but if that's true, looking at the weekly, yeah, I would take a shot on it for sure. Scared money don't make money, and when the setup is kind of in your right now, obviously it could be a read and react situation. The only thing that'd be our fucking earnings actually is coming up. When is that earnings? That's next week, right? Take that on earnings. Or offside or outside the break. So set alert. Let it ride. AMD puts. No, that video I made was one of the weirdest videos. Recording that was actually a little weird. I didn't like doing ASMR videos. And I kept laughing. What the fuck? That's fucking wild. Sure, temporarily, but no. Like, what happened? What do you mean, what happened?
That's wild.
Yeah, I did go over Apple. Get out of here, Big O. What the fuck? All right. Yeah, so I mean, Snow right now came back down, retested cost basis, and bounced. So it's still a candidate to go try to reach those 235 highs. TTD, I think I went over this, didn't I? No, I didn't. That has earnings when? I'd probably take a shot on that one. The only thing that worries me about this one is that. But screw that channel. Stupid. You said on TXN? Yeah, there is more downside potential for sure. But I think what I'm trying to say is that if you can hold this floor, then you're probably going to retest first. Again, news-based stuff is not, you know, we could have already priced that in, but you know, outside of 182.35, you're going to go back up and fill that empty space more than likely. So, AMD, this has earnings today as well, correct? Yeah. That's kind of fucked. Part of me just, I mean, instinctually thinks this thing is likely going to go try to reach into new highs. I mean, you look at the wall, you look at the channel, where you're at. And so, I mean, yes, you have empty space underneath you.
Hello.
Huh?
Ah.
His mic is open. But above 184.40, that's where we would, I mean, honestly,
Yeah, guys.
let me mute Neil.
Ew.
No, he can't hear you. He's on the phone.
Neil.
He muted himself. Never mind. All right. So anyway, above, yes, 180. You know, for earnings, this is a shot in the dark because you have empty space down to 163, and you have a target up at 215. So I mean, it is an interesting setup for sure. That empty space scares me a little bit underneath you, so you need to keep the rippage up. But I tell you what, the way that we're ripping up on a lot of these things, I tell you what, when we do hit a bear market, oh, marble downside. Uh, so you hit a target that, yeah, wow, okay, so yeah, no, I until you lose, I personally wouldn't feel comfortable shorting this one until the gap. I mean, you have a gap fill down below 78.90, but it would be this box right here that would really make me, I mean, because you have a fuck ton of consolidation directly underneath you, which takes away from the empty space edge. So, yeah, so I mean, with this one, with TXN, uh, I mean, if you're in shorts, you have hit a target. You have hit a floor. And so I know for sure above 181.75 and for sure outside of 182.40, 15-minute candle close above that 182.35, you're going to go up and retest 183. And because you ripped so fast and you didn't just plow through the target, there's a good chance that you're going to retest at minimum that floor. So yeah, there is a chance that you go back up. You would need to see a wick down to this floor. I mean, you could build a box in here. The next target down is 178.82 if you can just flush or gap down. Ask you a question, MJ. Do you like this setup for earnings? What do you see on this chart, or are you just wondering? Before I answer any other questions, though, go look at MSTR's earnings. Or we need to. Trash. Trash. I mean, it dumps later on, but trash. That kind of dumped. Here's the last time it ever, I mean, it doesn't seem to do it on earnings. It seems to be doing it after. So, I mean, what's above and what's below? That's the only thing you have above. And this is the trigger below. That brings you to this. So the analysis is limited on this. Yeah. DKNG, this one did in fact go up and tap that fucking 5650, one of those older targets. Moved past a little bit further, but one of the things that I talked about was how we had empty space underneath us, so we needed to keep our foot on the gas pedal, and that did not occur, right? So for a lot of us, this might be one of, or for some of you, shorter expiration, all of you, this is something that you're getting really close to. The best case scenario is you bounce tomorrow and you build here, and that would give you enough cushion to push up and off. So American Superconductor Corporation, is that all-time highs?
No.
My friend's dad told me about this one like 2 months ago.
I just can't believe I hadn't seen it. Like, it kind of upset me.
So, again, if it's already ripped, I've missed it. That's just how I look at these things. But here's what I see directly in front of you on the weekly, and that's this box. So price right now is currently trying to move above the basically 60, but it is cost basis at 63. And again, how'd you rip? How'd you get there? And it was incredibly quick. So if you're going to keep ripping, it'll be through that. And I mean, obviously, if this is set to be a positive trade, which I mean, it looks really good on the monthly, the what is essential is yes, reclaiming basically 8250, 70 and 8250, and that opens up, a lot of empty space. And then we also can look at this channel here and look at that 183 possibly target. So I mean, that's still, maybe an equity play. Equity, you could, as long as you can get a good stop loss, you could try. But something like this, I would just want it to go up, hit that floor, and go sideways and give me an entry. All right, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and have to cut this live short here in just a second. Head out. This is up against the highs. So I can't say anything else but 46.18. That is the only resistance you have above you. There might be a box on the 24-hour. Not loving that box, but yeah. I might go live tonight, a little bit later than I usually do. I haven't gone live at night in a while, but why target won't work? Because this target, um, but just on TikTok probably. 3880, 3480, excuse me, is the floor underneath us. So Roku earnings 103 potential. Part of me feels like, I mean, last time I looked at this, you look at the monthly, the monthly, and I mean that has great potential. for the most part. But this 108, that's where it happens. The weekly has a box immediately above that, but I think it would be significant enough. So you've got earnings, and the earnings target would be 105. Maybe something that you look into grabbing longer expiration contracts with shorter expiration hedges. Kind of convincing myself now. Because this looks like something that if it reacts, again, it's been at the lows for how long? Hit the lows in 2022 and it's stayed there. So it might be worth a shot, depending on what the cost is. Jesus.
When you're done with that, you might want to look at car. It had a nice bounce today. Has to clear some stuff for the upside, but there's some empty space.
Good fucking heavens, this thing is kind of. Honestly, though, the definitely a longer expiration, but the spreads are a little wonky once you get up into the 100s and teens. Wow, these are really, really jacked for earnings. The implied volatility isn't high, but the cost of them is pretty fucking. I don't know how much they've risen, but so yeah, I mean, if you want to grab something, for earnings out of the money, but I will say this does take away a lot of that risk to reward that we like to see. What the fuck is going on with my Wi-Fi?
Yeah, the
today?
contracts. I'm charting some of the contracts now. They've rose quite a bit,
Yeah, it
even though
looks
the
to.
implied volatility is not crazy.
How do you
The
chart
price of them? You
It's
pull up a chart under your brokerage.
105.50. Yeah, 120s. I mean, the 120s are okay. They're not that bad. I actually, yeah, I mean, equity I might even buy equity on it.
It's equally as hard to hedge the damn thing.
You have giant ones, maybe 558s for the end of the week on the queues. Because that's the only place I see us going. That's the only solid box that you have underneath you, and we gravitate towards that. So 557. Yeah, 557.50s. But that, I mean, play with fire. Typically, I mean, even if you go look back here, guys, those big legs down, you don't start by continuously dumping. You open up, retest, and then fail. So tomorrow, of course we hope for it, but that space right up into the 570s, you could build a stupid box there and then break down. So maybe having a little bit of time is okay, but yeah. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and get to going, though. Make sure to, if you want to, it's not necessary, but check out that video I just posted on TikTok. It's funny, but it's also just a, recap over the gains that we've made this month and stuff like that. So, but otherwise, if you have any questions, join in people on TikTok, join the free Discord and shoot me a DM or Ivy. And on joining or anything like that. But otherwise, I'll tag you guys in the Discord tonight if I decide to go live, or have time rather to go live. So, all right, guys, I'll see you guys tonight or tomorrow. Peace.
All right, bro. Have a good one.
Yep.
Peace.
Later, bro.
Later.
The audacity to leave
Good night,
it to his
guys.
kids.
If you guys are on TikTok, this weekend I might be holding another discount on Lifetime, Saturday and Sunday only, but it's not important. I'll post it in the Discord. All right, guys. Peace.